Artificial intelligence updates weekly, today June 20th, Friday. And as you see, a lot of updates, so many that I had to reduce the font size from, it used to be 18, then 16, then 15, now it's 14. A lot of things happening. So first of all, leaderboard. Uh, what you see in the web dev leaderboard, which is coding, a lot of blue. Blue is Claude. So Claude is very good for coding, and also Gemini, which is Google. You see red. Green is DeepSeek. So GPT is absolutely not the leader as far as coding. You can see that, right? Now, for regular chats, yes, you have Google red, you have OpenAI models yellow, and Claude is respectable. Yeah, so you have some models from China, you can see. XAI exists, and Mistral Medium is good for coding, you see here, right? Okay, next is some miscellaneous updates. So first of all, Google Gemini 2.5, for some time it was in preview, both Pro and Flash. Now they officially become like production. And also they released Flash Lite, which is very inexpensive, very fast, low latency. And it is great for simple operations like translation and classification. So when you're building some agent structures, you can use light model for fast routing and then more capable models for actually doing some thinking. But anyway, Gemini 2.5 is stable and ready for production and enterprise use. No more TensorFlow jacks. For many years, there was a competition between Google TensorFlow and Facebook PyTorch. PyTorch originally coming from Torch library, which was written in Lua language. And eventually PyTorch won, so much so that Hugging Face stopped supporting TensorFlow and JAX. JAX is Google's version of NumPy, so they're not supporting them anymore. And Hugging Face, of course, this is the main representative of open source, all open source models, right? And that's where they are. And just to remind you, Hugging Face, the company, is in New York City, right across downtown, like Wall Street area. If you cross to Brooklyn, it's right there. So TensorFlow and JAX are deprecated. Next, there is a very good post by Ravi Gupta, who is an investor, and it's called AI or Die. I think I invented my phrase, but maybe everybody has invented this phrase. Anyway, this is very good post describing what's happening, how it's become practical, and that you have to pay attention to it, you have to use it in your business, and that you cannot compete, like a horse buggy cannot compete with modern cars and trucks. Knives and spears cannot compete with machine guns and rockets, right? Whether you like it or not, you have to live with it, with AI, and you have to use it. You have to learn to use it effectively. Apple Foundation models, recently there was a conference, a developer conference from Apple, and they introduced some AI features, and they're running their own model. And they have two versions of it. One is small one, 3 billion parameters, and it runs on the device, on the phone. And a bigger one, which they haven't described very well, but it's running on the server. And yeah, so the model is text and vision. I'm talking about the small model. And yeah, 65,000 tokens, text, images, multilingual support. It can do real-time translation. So you can talk to people who don't speak English, for example, and they will understand you and you will understand them. Yeah, so it's good. Next, Minimax M1. So Minimax is a company from China, and they released this big model for 156 billion parameters, and it's a reasoning model. And it's a world first open weight, large scale hybrid attention reasoning model, second most intelligent after DeepSeek R1. So Minimax is a startup in Shanghai, China, about 1,000 people. Well, some sources say it's like more than 500 and not exactly 1,000, but it's a sizable startup, and they created this massive model, which is open source, which is a mixture of experts architecture, and it has million token context window, which again is a very respectable number. It's a long context window. And they have budgeting for thinking, so you can use 40 kilotokens or 80 kilotokens. So you can regulate thinking good, on par or better with leading commercial models like Gemini 2.5. So this is a major thing. Another achievement from the same company is a model called Hilo 2 or 02, and it's coming from the same company, Minimax. And you see this leaderboard for video models. So you see Google View 3 preview, and you see that this Minimax model, Hilo 2, is beating it by a substantial margin, actually. So yeah, this is a great model. And as far as pricing, it's about the same as Google. So, but it beats Google on benchmarks, comparable in price, has 3 times more parameters and 4 times more training data compared with its previous version of this model. So this company, Minimax, so it's well known, and Hilo also well known. Okay, Kimi-Dev, so it's a Moonshot Kimi-Dev-72B open LLM for SWE, it's software engineering. So this is coming again from China, open source, tuned. So it's based on Qwen 2.572B, and it's tuned specifically for software engineering and optimized via large-scale reinforcement learning. So receiving rewards only when the entire test suite passes. So it's trained to write software which actually passes the tests. Okay, next. Self-improving AI. So this is interesting research work. I make a picture of Baron Munchausen, which is pulling himself and his horse from the swamp by his hair. And yeah, so this is a paper from MIT about self-improving AI, which change their own parameters of the model, like hyperparameters, invoke tools for data augmentation, gradient-based update, supervised self-tuning is used to update model weights. So it is self-teaching. The model is changing itself. Tests show this method works better than existing top models, even with less data. Chinese use Nvidia chips in other countries. Well, this is a scandal, right? So this is China, and this is Malaysia, and you can fly. So you can take your data, your training data, put it on SSD, fly to Malaysia, and then you can you can use their data centers with modern Nvidia chips in them to train your model. As you know, USA put some restrictions on exporting Nvidia chips into China, but Chinese researchers just decided we will train it in other data centers which are outside of China. So yeah, it's very difficult to stop this. So engineers fly from China to Malaysia with terabytes of AI training data, and then they could do training on Nvidia, thus skirting US export rules. So this is what's showing is a flight from Shanghai to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Anyway, AI categorizes objects like humans. So this is very interesting. So it's a research work. They were making triplets of images. So for example, here you have an animal, you have some sort of metal like knight, and then you have another animal, and you need to decide which object is odd one out. So in this case is the central one, I guess. So they created 4.7 million triplets like that from about 2,000 different unique objects, and they saw how the model can deal with them. So from model, from tree descriptions, the model was asked to decide which object to exclude. And what they found that the model actually have some concept representations, and they emerge naturally in multimodal large language models. So yeah, this is very interesting work. Okay, this is a shameless plug for my channel. Recommend you to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. So this is the channel. Video goes out every Friday, like this one, about 30 minutes long. And the links for slides are under the videos. Okay, next, new token break attack bypasses AI moderation. So very interesting. So let's say we have the word announcement and we add a character A at the beginning. So we have A announcement. Or instead of idiot, we use H idiot. So, or instructions, finstructions. Okay, so small changes, but what they do, they break tokenizations because you know how the models work. They split words into tokens, and because of different tokenizations, the model have some sort of defense from evil stuff. So this defense suddenly stopped working, and the model start giving answers to questions where it's not supposed to give answers, and so on. So the manipulated text remains fully understandable to both LLM and human reader. The attack has been found to be successful against text classification models using this and these types of encoding, but not Unigram. Okay, Salesforce has problems with agents. You know, Salesforce bets big on using AI agents instead of human for customer service and sales and so on. What they found is that the agents fail 40% times even on a simple CRM task. CRM is customer relationship management. So that's simply usually a human talking on the phone with a customer, right? And it's some sort of a database. And yeah, it's very, very bad. New research from Salesforce shows that LLM agents succeeded only in 58% of simple one-step tasks and only in 35% on multi-step tasks. Also, AI agents were often mishandling confidential data. So no trust to AI agents. 80% of AI projects fail. So this is recent statistics. That's twice the failure rate of regular IT projects. So AI projects have a strong tendency for failing. S&P Global Market Intelligence reports that 42% of companies abandoned most of their AI initiatives in 2025, 42% as compared to only 17% last year. So people realize that to build effective and actually useful AI system is not as simple as they thought. Okay, models.dev. It's an interesting website. It lists 140 AI models. So if you go there, and let me try to go there. Okay, this is really difficult to read like that. A provider, model, input cost, output cost. So it's a good like spreadsheet to choose models, compare models, and so on. Models.dev. Okay. OpenAI against Microsoft getting IP of Windsurf. So you know that Microsoft has invested more than $10 billion. I don't remember the number, 11 billion or 13 billion into AI. And in exchange, they have access to OpenAI technology, to their intellectual property. Now, recently, OpenAI has purchased Windsurf for $3 billion. And Windsurf is an AI assistant editor. And OpenAI doesn't want Microsoft to get their hands on the intellectual property of this acquisition. So this is a legal battle they have. So the relationship between OpenAI and Microsoft are very tense. Microsoft wants to have access to IP for as long as possible, and OpenAI wants out. It's very clear. Groq chips made Hugging Face way faster. So Groq is a startup which manufactures specialized chips just for inference. and they are very fast. Yeah, now they're used on Hugging Face, and they are coming to Amazon Cloud and to Google. Well, Google have their own chips called TPUs, but well, apparently Groq may be even better in some situations. Millions of old books for training. So Harvard and Google made a huge free collection of words from almost 1 million old books available for computer learning. So yeah, this is great news. And next, TikTok Symphony creates videos of virtual models. Models, not LLM models. Models meaning like virtual people on TikTok, which talk to you, sing, whatever, characters which you can see in TikTok. And new tool, Symphony, could replace human influencers. Yeah, very interesting. And very similar here, you see this pair of hosts. These are actually, how to say, these are digital avatars of real hosts. So in the end of May, they were doing this presentation, they were selling stuff, and they sold a lot of stuff. You know, in America, we have the same thing. There are channels where they constantly sell something. And in China, the same thing. Now, recently, they ran the same show, but this time, instead of real humans on the show, they used their avatars. And so two AI-generated hosts promoted 133 products in this session, showcasing items while utilizing human gestures and handling real-time viewer interactions. They reached huge viewership and they won. Like in comparison to real humans, they actually made more money, much more money. So this is interesting. This is real. It brings in money. Cursor AI, a company which is called Anysphere. So recently they received a lot of money, and the evaluation was close to $10 billion. But now they were approached by investors. They haven't approached investors themselves. Investors came to them, and they offered them even more money, bringing the total valuation closer to $20 billion. So I don't know if they accepted it or not, and what will happen. They started a new plan, which is $200 a month, which is called Ultra, and it gives 20 times more AI coding power. I don't know what it is. So these two guys, these are founders of the company. So these are these people. So this is Cursor AI code editor. Now, OpenAI makes a contract with government, and not just some agency at the government, with the Pentagon, with military. So they now have initiative which is called OpenAI for Government. $200 million the Department of Defense contract for 1 year. Of course, it will be mostly used for office work, administrative tasks, you know, emails, calendars, summarizing text, and so on. Yeah, but OpenAI is doing some very wise steps. Next, Hexagon Robotics. So this company create robots, and they use Nvidia. So the company is from Europe, Stockholm, Sweden, and it's a relatively small division. It's about 1,000 people. It's part of 25,000 employee multinational industrial technology company. And this small division is focused on creating robots, and they're using Nvidia. So this is just a picture. Very interesting robots. Looks like they have wheels on their feet. Midjourney, which is famous for their text-to-image, they now created a first version of image-to-video. And yeah, it's available for $10 a month, exclusively through Discord. This is how Midjourney started. People were using it through Discord. And you can upload images and generate 4 or 5 second variations of videos. You can expand for 21 seconds if you want. I didn't provide the link, but you can easily just Google for it. Google AI search now talks back and forth. This is great, right? So Google has AI mode, Google browser, right? When you're searching something, you can choose to use AI mode. And now it supports live voice-based conversations. You can ask follow-up questions naturally. The new Search Live feature provides spoken answers, link suggestions, and works in the background, even across apps. It runs on a custom Gemini model for speed and accuracy. So this is great. Proactor.ai, advanced AI assistant designed to serve as a proactive teammate for individuals and teams. It listens, like you invite it to the meeting, it listens in real time during the meetings and conversations, automatically identifying needs and acting before users even ask for help. So this is interesting feature. So it has its own initiative, right? Next, Nanobrowser Chrome extension. So people are talking about web agents, and now it is available as an extension to the browser, to Chrome. So it's a free, it's open source. It uses Gemini API. So you go to AI Studio, you get the API key, then you add this extension to your browser, and you enter your API key there, and you're ready to work. So you can test it, just asking it, find the latest releases by some company and summarize the key features. Scale to complex automation such as social media management, competitor analysis, data collection. Yeah, so this is great. It's getting easier and easier and easier. OpenAI SDK demo, creating customer service agent. So as you know, OpenAI has API, it has a development kit, and there are many templates how to do things. So this particular link, it's a new open source demonstration how you can create a customer service agent using their SDK. Neuro-Symbolic data generation for math reasoning. Very interesting work. In math, you can generate problems. So for example, you have a big data set of existing math problems. You can use it to generate 100 times more problems. You change names, you change something in the problem, and the answer use different numbers, whatever. And once you have more data, and you then train your LLM on more data, and the result, you get a model which is better in math than before. So it's like getting synthetic data for math reasoning. Base 44. Interesting. I was looking at this company, and this is AI coding assistant. What's interesting about it, it was created by one person from Israel, Maor Shlomo, and he just sold the company after 6 months. He sold it for $80 million in cash. Very interesting. So in 6 months, he built a company. He got up to 8 people, 8 employees. He grew to 250,000 users in this time, in 6 months, without major advertising, mostly word of mouth. And he generated 189K, like $1,000 in profit in May. In profit, not in revenue, in profit, after they paid for AI tokens. Yeah, so this is great. Like from 0 to 80 million in cash in 6 months. Great success story. OpenAI started their own podcast, and there was the first podcast featuring, of course, Sam Altman. So openai.com/podcast. Next, Chris Lattner. Chris Lattner is a legendary figure. You know Ken Thompson, who created Unix, or you know Steve Jobs, Apple. And we have Chris Lattner, who is everywhere. He created a compiler, LLVM, which is low-level virtual machine. So today, mostly LLVM compilers are used for C, C++. They used to be GNU compilers, the GCC. Now it's LLVM. So it's used for Linux, which means all servers in all the clouds. Uh, it used for Android operating system. It used for some time he worked at Apple and he created language Swift, which is new language which is used, well, not so new, like 10 years old, but uh, at Apple. So whether it's iPhone or Android or Linux server or it is your Mac computer, like everything except Microsoft PC, like all the world is running on his compilers. He worked at Google. He worked a little bit at Tesla. 2 years ago, he co-founded a company called Modular, and where they created a language called Mojo. So remember Austin Powers and his Mojo, like source of his power. Anyway, Mojo programming language is very interesting. It is similar to Python, but it runs with the speed of C or Rust. And it runs even faster than Rust because it can run on GPU. It can run on both CPU and GPU. So you have simple to use language, strictly typed, and it can run on all kind of hardware. So they specifically created to use as a language for inference, for AI. This is great. I was looking into using it. Well, the language is too new, maybe to be used already in production, maybe a little bit risky, but this is like absolutely amazing development. And again, Chris Lattner is a legend. Next, Anthropic multi-agent research system. So they published an article on anthropic.com how their system works, how it does research. And yeah, well, they have standard structure of multi-agent systems. So first of all, multi-agent system outperforms single agent, right? By a big margin. And because they have central agent which is doing orchestration and it works with multiple agents which can run in parallel simultaneously. So that means it can give a response faster. Yeah, so this is great. I don't think there is anything new in this pattern. It's widely used. It just that they confirmed that they're using the same pattern. So trade-offs, multi-agent systems use about 15 times more tokens than chats agents, and agents use 4 more than regular chats without agents. So yeah, it's more expensive, but they're faster, they're better. Next, Claude Code versus Cursor. So it's a very interesting article. The author used Cursor all the time, and then he switched to Claude Code, and he says it's so much better. He's not looking back. He's still using Cursor for small things, but the major coding decision and coding itself, coding um, redesigns, he using Claude Code directly. So yeah, recommend to read this article. Next, Andrej Karpathy, he was a keynote speaker at Y Combinator AI Startup School. As usual, very good presentation. He talks about what we're talking about every Friday. He compared the current state with what we had with the mainframes in 1960s. So, and it changes from central computers. Now we have central LLMs like Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini. It changes to smaller or on-device. And as far as coding, by the way, he is the one who coined the term vibe coding. But what he's saying that the truth is not in computer doing all the work, but in cooperating with human. So partial LLM autonomy. Provides a lot of examples. It's really good presentation. I highly recommend to just listen to it. He's brilliant. And yeah. Next, why AI can code for 1 hour but not for 10 hours. So simple math. Suppose you have a model which can, after thinking 10 minutes, provide accurate results in 90% of cases, which, by the way, it's very rare. This 10 minutes for 90%, this is a really, really great model. But suppose we have this great model. So 1 hour will be 53%. So it's 0.9 times 0.9 times 0.96 times, right? So it's 53%. 4 hours, 8%. 10 hours, 0.2%. So what it means is if you leave the model just to do its thing, the probability of it delivering correct result is negligible. It doesn't work like that. So that's why we need a combination of a human and a model, at least for now. This is another graph from another link, which shows how with time, with the year, so here it starts with the 19, 20, and this is 2025, we're here, and they're kind of doing projection, and this is how long the task, like how long it would take the human to do the task. They use it as a measure of model's capability to do longer tasks. And this is logarithmic, I guess. You see 1 minute, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, and so on. So if you make it linear, it will grow exponentially. So models become exponentially more capable with time. But for now, like you see what's happening. Okay, next. Inference with sample verify. The idea is you generate not one output, but you generate multiple outputs, for which, of course, you pay through the nose for the tokens. But then you verify output and you select the best answer. So it increases accuracy dramatically, but requires more compute. So the paper is large language monkeys scaling inference compute with repeated sampling. And you see how even a weak model with a growing number of samples, so you have 1 sample, 10 samples, 100 samples, how it outperforms a very capable commercial models. Next. Google DeepMind weather models. So over the years, you see 23, 24, 25, Google has created a series of models to predict weather, to create like hurricanes, cyclones, and so on. Models are very good. They use data for like 40 years. And yeah, this is a great achievement. Next, about jobs. Well, we have some layoffs in June, not as much as May. There are some layoffs predicted to be in July, but well, we'll see when we'll see them. What's interesting about Meta, so Mark trying to invite top talent. Meta tried to lure away his top engineers from OpenAI, offering up to 100 million per year, or maybe as a sign-up bonus. It's not clear who exactly, but nobody agreed. Well, partially probably because the company is preparing to transition to commercial so that they go IPO and then they'll become very rich. Anyway, but Meta in the meantime tried to lure some other people. So they tried to buy Ilya Sutskever. His company, which is Safe Superintelligence, is estimated $32 billion. It's a startup, part in US, part in Israel, and he refused. But Mark Zuckerberg bought Scale AI, Alexander Wang, like not the whole company, he bought like 49 something percent for $14 billion. And he created a new group like for AGI initiative. He also successfully bought 2 more people. One is CCI co-founder, Daniel Gross. So CCI is Ilya Sutskever's company. So he invited him, and he also invited GitHub CEO, well, former GitHub CEO, Nat Friedman. So this is him. And they will be reporting to Alexander Wang in this new group. So very, very strong team. We'll see what will happen. Anyway, this is me as usual, and thank you.